Hello. As soon as President Bush praised Yusuf Reza Gilani as a reliable partner in the war against terror, a US airstrike in Waziristan killed 6 people. So, does America really respect Pakistan's territorial sovereignty, and how far is our new Prime Minister able to achieve the objectives for Pakistan compared with his predecessors? Newseye Shehzad Hameed takes a look at the latest tour by a Pakistani chief executive to the US.
A visibly tense and uneasy Prime Minister Gilani walked on the south lawns of the White House for the first time since he came into power. An upbeat Bush, though, took over most of the media attention at the press conference, while Prime Minister Gilani tried his best to come out with a confident statement.
This is our own war. This is the war which is against Pakistan.
Almost a replica of his performance when he was about to board the plane in Islamabad.
This is our own fight. This is our...
Getting a driving license has never been easier. As we entered the Clifton driving license branch with a normal camera, things looked organized as we were walked through the normal process of earning a driver's license. It may take weeks or even months to get through the medical or signal tests, which brings these doubts into action. If you're in a hurry or dejected that you can't pass the test, help is just around the corner. A driving license, though legally, wouldn't cost more than 2,500 rupees, but to save time, you have to pay a price. The money is exchanged and the process is completed.
But it should not be allowed, or we are trying to minimize it.
Huge shortage of urban housing is contributing to the problem, as there are few vacant buildings or places to go, even if the homeless had some sort of income. It's a problem which has received some government attention in the past, and some research was done to understand the extent of the problem. The government's economic survey for 2005-2006 confirmed that there was a backlog of 6.19 million housing units in Pakistan. Life on the streets is tough, but for many homeless people such as these, there is no other choice. And each passing evening brings for them another search for a new place to spread their scanty belongings and prepare themselves for another dangerous night on the streets. Their leader is coming back and the city is painted red, green and black. A die-hard supporter has come to Karachi all the way from Thatta just to get a glimpse of his leader. There's dance, there's music. After waiting for 8 years, the People's Party supporters are out in number to welcome their home leader. This is Asia's biggest fruit and vegetable market, which exports a variety of fruits to the Middle East, Europe and America. Rather than smelling the fresh aroma of mangoes and other fruits, you enter into a bustling market strewn with a pungent smell all around. And the reason is this: calcium carbide, or as more commonly known in the fruit market as masala, a poisonous and corrosive chemical used to ripen fruits artificially. As traders and retailers are under pressure to ensure a smooth supply of these fruits to these sabzi mandis much before their due time of arrival, the use of unscrupulous methods does become common, which include the use of poisonous chemicals such as calcium carbide, which does make these fruits look attractive but modify them, and with it, the lives of many human beings that consume this. Shehzad Hameed, Dawn News, Karachi. Karachi is the hub of industrial activity taking place in Pakistan. Most of the industrial units are manufacturing various products of daily usage. In the process of manufacturing, products leave behind solid waste, which is at times highly toxic, containing corrosive chemicals and acids. The industries in Karachi have failed to find a solution for disposing of this waste, as it may add to their production costs. So they found an easy way out to do it. Most of the industrial units in Site and Kurangi are throwing away their waste in open plots, on roads and in drains. The toxic chemicals has claimed the lives of 5 children and caused injuries to more than 20 people. This is 9-year-old Shiraz, an unfortunate victim of the deadly toxic waste. Shiraz is now disabled for life as his legs and hands were amputated after he made contact with the deadly chemicals dumped in the plots that were his playground.
मैं खेलने गया तो वहाँ पे गेंद गई थी, मुझे नहीं पता ये केमिकल, पर मैं गेंद उठाने गया वहीं जल गया.
His family members have lost all hopes that they would one day see Shiraz living a normal life.
It can cause environmental pollution, respiratory infections, number of abortions of females, and depressions. It within the liquid form, it can cause soft tissue injuries of the human beings, which becomes disabled to survive in the society.
Similar incidents have also occurred in other industrial states in Karachi, but most of the incidents have gone unreported, fearing reprisals from influential factory owners. The Environmental Protection Agency (SEPA) managed to seal Ghareebson's Private Limited that manufactures clipboard, the factory allegedly responsible for the tragic incident. A petition was filed on behalf of an action committee comprising the families of those affected by the toxic waste. But the powerful industrial lobby got the factory desealed in a short while.
The existing waste management capacity of the city is outdated and needs to be remodeled. Otherwise, cases like Shiraz will keep coming up and continue to haunt the city. Shehzad Hameed, Dawn News, Karachi.
Sierra Leone and Somalia, countries wrapped in conflicts.
Every time a journalist is killed and the killer is allowed to go free, it sends a terrible signal to the journalistic community and the people who would harm them.
The death of reporter Hayatullah Khan is one sad incident among many in which the killers remain at large. Hayatullah was kidnapped in the tribal region of North Waziristan in 2005 and found dead several months later. Exposure to violence within Pakistan is the same as compared with any other country marred with conflicts.
Lip service is not enough for the journalistic community, and more needs to be done to curb journalistic homicides. Shehzad Hameed, Dawn News, Karachi.
The residents of French Colony deserve an equal right in getting clean drinking water, recreational facilities, proper roads and other basic human rights. More so, they require an economic uplift plan to bring them at par with others in Islamabad. And the Capital Development Authority should be focusing on the development of all rather than for some. Shehzad Hameed, Dawn News, Islamabad.
Well, we're in the city courts in Karachi where the criminal cases against Farooq Gharib are in progress. Well, let's talk to the family of Shiraz and the lawyers concerned and talk to them about what further progress has been made in this particular case.
Violence between two student unions comes days after Yusuf Raza Gilani, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, announced the lifting of the ban on student unions. But if the trend continues, the fate of thousands of students at one of Karachi's premier educational institutes definitely hangs in the balance. Shehzad Hameed, Dawn News, Karachi.
In the end, having food on the table and having a roof over your head is always worth it for most in Pakistan. According to statistics cited in a recent study, economic and social reasons account for 89.58% of madrasa enrollment and the remaining 10.42% for religious and educational training. A large number of women in the country are subjected to violence such as beatings, tortures, being burnt, disfigured with acid, or even murdered in the name of honor by their own families. However, it should be noted that the term honor killing applies to killing of both males and females in cultures that practice it. For example, in 2002, it is estimated that 245 women and 137 men were killed in the name of Karokari in Sindh. But there's hope for the future. Mukhtar Amai suffered a gang rape as a form of honor revenge on the decision of a village panchayat in the village of Meerwala in Muzaffargarh. Rather than crumbling under societal pressures, she stood up and took her case to the court where her rapists were arrested and charged. Though many believe that Afghan refugees are taking up low-grade jobs in the country and are willing to work in lesser wages, the UNHCR has a different perspective.
They've become very much a part of the local economies, both in Iran and Pakistan.
The refugee problem remains an international concern. By the end of 2006, there were an estimated 9.9 million refugees. 1 year later, the global figure of refugees stood at 11.4 million. Pakistan is all too familiar with gun crime and political violence, but now there's something else to worry about. If you think that your personal information stored electronically is safe and secure, think again. Cybercrime is getting trickier than ever. Risking a little and becoming a millionaire overnight, a dream which comes true for only a few. And among many other places, the Bolton market in Karachi offers you the same chance. As we visited the market, one easily gets a sense of the amount of money that the tiny shops were generating. And according to locals, millions are made on a daily basis, all of it unregulated. It's a lottery system based on parchees or slips of paper which are sold with certain prize bond numbers and series printed on it.
Each of these shops has its own set of brokers, and armed with computers and telephones for quick communication, these brokers are wandering the streets of Karachi and searching for their next target. It might be an understatement to say that power theft by various means is a common sight all across the country, but surely not like this. It's a posh locality of the Defence Housing Authority in Karachi, but the owners of this house are very special. This lavish and exuberant wedding ceremony is being held by none other than our very own Federal Minister for Labour and Overseas Pakistanis, Shehzad Hameed Ahmad Shah. At a time when the country faces one of the toughest financial crises in history, the Federal Minister has decided to have a party in style, with you and I footing their electricity bill. The street leading to the Minister's home has been lit up by thousands of glittering lights, but hooking a few kundas or illegal connections to the transmission lines above, the Minister is sure to save a few rupees. When Newseye contacted the Defence Housing Authority for a clarification, a spokesman claimed that they couldn't do much as it was the Minister's house.
I respect the fact that you are a politician, you're also a Federal Minister. What I would like to ask, and what probably everybody who's watching this channel right now wants to know, A, why do you have to light up the whole street or pretty much half the street, and B, are those kundas on a meter? Who's going to pay for this?
No, this is the policy, the kunda policy, the KC, the temporary connection. But after that, I take the responsibility.
Though the previous government was successful in constructing the Pakistan monument, the statement comes as a direct response to President Zardari's claims that Pakistan itself was at risk from similar non-state actors that had hit Pakistan's center of power in the recent past. Which started off as a disguised attack against Pakistan from India, and now American undertones to pressurize Pakistan to act before terror strikes this region once again. American presence here in Islamabad and New Delhi a day back is being seen by experts as an attempt to push the Mumbai attacks under the umbrella of global terrorism rather than blaming each other. Over 2,000 schools have reportedly closed down or have been brought down, either due to an act of revenge from the militants or as part of collateral damage. Similarly, in October, militants had blown up two of the most historic educational institutes of the area. Such acts of destruction to the local infrastructure in Swat has not only left a permanent impact on the local population, but has made them question who stands to gain from such incidents. World AIDS Day is important in reminding people that HIV has not gone away and there is still much to be done. Here in Pakistan, the National AIDS Program estimates that close to 4,000 people are suffering from the disease. AIDS is taking a hold in Pakistan. AIDS is spreading across Pakistan at a very fast pace, and it is one of the grim realities that our country must face. But there is success, and there will always be success until there is hope. Shehzad Hameed, Dawn News, Karachi.